What is going on, YouTube? Hayden back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we are going to be looking at XRP, Ethereum, Bitcoin Dash, as well as the S&P 500. As you guys know, we do a different crypto here on the channel every single week with your guys' help. And on that note, we're still doing our crypto coin display giveaway. As you guys know, I'm giving one of these away every single week, and all you have to do to enter is comment two things. Comment your favorite cryptocurrency, as well as comment subscribed. Do those two things, and you will get a chance to win one of these. We're going to be doing the drawing on Saturday, so stay tuned for Saturday's episode to see if you're one of the lucky winners to get one of these. More importantly, what we're going to be looking at in today's video is obviously XRP and Bitcoin. They're going to be my main focus for today in regards to basically reflecting on where these coins are going to be moving to. As you know, XRP is currently retesting $1. We have Bitcoin kind of floating around 37 to 37,500, and we're seeing them get very close to retesting resistances. We know that for Bitcoin, that resistance level is marked at 40K. And we know that for XRP, it's marked at $1. Currently, XRP is floating at $1. So we're seeing very, very, very close contact with those resistance levels. And we're going to basically weigh out whether or not we're going to be breaking through those targets. Now, we've called it about 2 days ago, and we've pretty much just been free floating since then. And really what we're looking for is to see that break and that confirmation above that $1 resistance level on XRP and above that 40K level on Bitcoin. And ultimately, hopefully, it helps us swing back up and recover to some higher levels, because as you guys know, if you watched yesterday's live stream or yesterday morning's video, we've discovered an entirely different pattern that's forming on these cryptos that is not the same and not similar to what happened in 2017, and I want to show you guys that. Otherwise, if you are new to the channel, definitely make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up, as this does help support the YouTube algorithm. Remember to join us over at Discord. We have over 1,500 people currently in our Discord, completely free, where we talk about crypto. So join us over there. Otherwise, let's jump into today's episode. All right, guys, so top 10 cryptocurrencies, everything seems to be doing fairly well. Market overall is up 3%. We have Bitcoin up 1.5%. We have Ethereum up 2.5%. Binance up 8.4%. Doge is up 33%. And this is really something to consider. If we were, and this is going to be kind of the, topic of today's video, if we were in a bear market, we should not be seeing coins like Doge still pumping higher. Ultimately, I do believe that we're not in the bear market just yet. I do think what we saw a couple of days ago in that 60% correction to the downside was merely just a healthy reversal. It obviously was more sudden than we had anticipated, and we did see a major swing to the downside. But ultimately, what that ended up doing was pulling us out of that FOMO level of trading that we were in and putting us back down into a more realistic ascending approach to the upside. And ultimately, that will hopefully allow us to glide ourselves back to retesting the all-time high at a more suitable, slow uptrend than a aggressive FOMO, moonshot to the upside. So really what I want to look at is looking at XRP, looking at Bitcoin. Those are going to be my main focuses, and then we'll look at Ethereum and Dash if we have some time later on, as well as the S&P 500. Now, more importantly, so XRP is currently retesting resistance at $1. We know this, but I want to show you guys something back in 2017, 2018 on Bitcoin first, and how that references right now for 2021. So a lot of people are starting to say this is the second bubble. I've been hearing that a lot on the media and from friends and stuff like that. A lot of people are starting to think that this might be a repeat of history back then, and I would like to show you guys how this might be slightly different than what we had experienced back in 2018, 2017. Now, understandably, I could see why we're having that confusion. I mean, there's something that I do want to mention, though, briefly. We can start by looking at support levels here. We can look at where the uptrend is. We do have a downtrend clearly drawn on the 2017 resistance level. We can kind of find that out if we want to do something like this. It's hard exactly to find that downtrend. Ultimately, it might look more so with the support being straight down. And then we do have some sort of, more so a descending fractal you can see to the downside here. This is kind of what we were looking at. this descending fractal, this bear flag that formed that ultimately, shot us to the downside. Now, I was looking for uptrends here. We had a small uptrend before we kind of tailed off and shot up higher, but ultimately we're using more so support levels, battling this, support right here, and then we broke through it. Now, ultimately, what I'm looking at more so is the descending fractal that formed. This was much more drawn out than what we have right now in 2021. Ultimately, we are starting to correct lower, and we're creating lower lows since the beginning. Since the start of the reversal back in 2017, we were creating lower lows, where each time we fell, it was lower than the prior low that we had. Notice this. Each time we're falling, it's lower than the original. The prior one is much lower. Now, also notice that on the top, we're creating higher lows as well, or lower highs, I apologize, lower highs as well. Each time we retest top resistance, it's breaking us lower than we were originally. So now swing back over to 2021. I want to show you guys a different pattern than what we experienced back in 2017, 2018, and how I think this could actually help us continue to break bullish if we can hold this support level. So there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot of things that do need to be said, but ultimately, if we can sustain this uptrend here, like we're doing, we should be able to break bullish. The only time I can say for sure that we're going to basically start this bear market off and continue into and degress into a bear market is if we actually break through the support level. Ultimately, right now, this support is holding on to the coin very well. We had it all the way back here, and we're currently retesting it. We saw something similar in 2018, but I think we're heading this on much better, or we're holding this support level much better. And ultimately, this could allow us to eventually break bullish. And we're seeing it on not just Bitcoin, we're seeing it on XRP too. We're seeing the slow recovery to the upside. Now, if we once again scroll back to 2017 and compare ourselves to what happened in 2017, you can see, where is it? Let's go all the way here. 2017 more so looked like just a straight dump in price, maybe more so a descending triangle than we did have a symmetrical triangle. Notice back here in 2017, market just immediately shot up and then immediately corrected back down. There was no in between. There was no support level. There was no uptrend. You can see how we just immediately concaved and corrected all the way to the downside. Now flash forward to 2021, you can see how this pattern slightly looks different, that we have a more long-term support level that we've drawn out here that's been holding on to the price fairly well. And we also didn't go nearly as high, granted, as we did back in 2017, but more so we're not seeing that same dump in price that we saw back in 2017. We're seeing more of a recovery than we are seeing a reversal. So I do think some very interesting things are to be said. I'd like to say for right now, it doesn't seem like we've broken out or broken down into a bearish market just yet. Yes, the past couple of, weeks have been fairly bearish. I understand that, but long term, I don't think we have enough signs yet to just prove that we're in this bear market and we're going to see 3 years, and I'm talking about 3 years of just bearish market and prices just continuously dropping until we get the confirmation of breaking below our uptrend here. So right now, it's pretty much fair game as to where these prices plan on moving to. And honestly, from the major reversal that we did have in price, we don't look too bad just yet. We're in some sort of recovery phase right now on Bitcoin. We're in some sort of recovery phase on XRP. For Bitcoin specifically, we do have a bearish divergence that did form. And notice every time we become either oversold or retest top resistance right here on this downtrend, we tend to pull back, which we see, but eventually we come back up to retest this top resistance level. Now, ultimately, we did scale ourselves into bottom support here. You can see we ended up retesting oversold, and we're starting to draw a very small uptrend. You can kind of see what I'm referring to here. And this should eventually spiral us up to eventually retest 46 or 45 on this moving average. And that should hopefully allow prices to either A, come back to retest 40K and break through 40K, or ultimately head us up to $48,000. There's some big support levels that we have to pay attention to. The other great sign that maybe we've hit the bottom now, and this is a guaranteed support level, is the fact that we're starting to see a bullish cross on the MACD. This is another very nice sign. Granted, we did become extremely undervalued on this major flash dump, but we are being supported by this uptrend right here, and hopefully if we cross over, which we are currently doing, and we can continue that, we should ultimately be able to fill in this moving average or this relative strength indicator right here. And I think that should set us up to retest 40K. Now it's going to be very tight. We're going to retest 40K probably the same time we retest the top resistance here. And ultimately, what I'm looking for is a breakout through there. I'm looking to close the daily price above 40K so we can basically confirm that we're starting to head up. And ultimately, the next step would be to battle the moving average at 48,000, and then to battle the resistance level. And ultimately, if we can break through that resistance, we should have some, a little more hope in getting up higher. Ultimately, just following this support level would be, very nice to break through that and then start to break bullish. This would ultimately set us up for a more bullish outlook moving forward in the long term. And right now, until we break our prior low, I think we are starting to head up even higher. Now, for XRP, the next target would be at $1. It's a very similar chart right here, very different from 2017's drop. We're starting to see what could be, once again, a bullish cross on the MACD. You can see right here how we're just now starting to phase out and have that bullish cross. We were extremely undervalued. You can see we're trading at, it was just extremely, stretched out, where prices were trading much lower than where they should be. And we finally managed to build the support and the volume to come back up to retest that and finally see what could be a bullish cross on that MACD. And what that means for us is volume is here, and we're starting to, get the bullish momentum back. And that's a good sign. Ultimately, you can see how many times we've retested this bottom support here and created these lower highs, which does look good, or higher lows. Each time we're creating a higher low, one here, and then we have ones here, and now we're forming them here and here. Each time we decide to pump lower, it is higher than the prior low that we had, a couple weeks ago. So this, hopefully you guys are understanding that process that I'm referring to, but it's ultimately allowing us to build up momentum and build up volume that should hopefully break through that dollar resistance. Then ultimately it's coming to retest this top downtrend that we've drawn here. I'm not entirely sure how accurate that is, so I'm trying not to follow it as much. Ultimately, my game plan is, once again, to buy in the second we see confirmation of a daily candle closing us kind of above $1. I'm looking at $1.05. That seems to be a good support level. We discussed about 2 days ago that this was kind of the day right here. We talked about that, and that ultimately panned out to being on XRP right here, where prices actually started to trend up higher, and we retested resistance. We had a big run in price, shooting us up from opening at 90 cents all the way up to $1.03, but we're really looking for $1.05. Once we close above $1.05, then I'll be buying in and leveraging it to the upside, creating a stop loss. Hopefully that manages us to break through this resistance. Whether it is or not, we'll find that out, but hopefully breaking through there to retest $1.28. Then we'll see if consolidation happens, but really what we're looking for is to break through here and use $1.28 as a means of support to eventually pump back up higher to retest $1.61. I think this was just a temporary reversal. I do think this was just short-term consolidation, and if you look at a coin like this, if you look at the uptrend, this is here to stay. And the fact that we're battling this moving average, I do think in the next couple of hours or day or two, we should be able to break through that moving average, build up the support that we need to hopefully commandeer it over and head back up into the $1.30, support level right here, into this sideways channel. So I am fairly bullish on XRP right now. I'm fairly optimistic. The only thing that would confirm that we're entering a bear market is if we see a price close below, at this point, below 81 cents, below our prior below our prior low. I know that sounds like contradictory, but that's what it is. These are the lows that we've had every time we've fallen. We need the price to break lower than the prior one for us to confirm that we're in a bear market, and we have yet to do so. So right now it seems like we're just building support and building steam. Notice we had much bigger swings outside of this symmetrical triangle. Prices moved much bigger than when we're currently now filling in this gap. Obviously, when you see movements like this, we have big flash movements, and eventually they start to slow down. Volume slows down. There's not as much room allowed for us to trade sideways in, and eventually we fill in the gap and we break bullish. So whether or not this happens now in June, or whether it happens at the end of June on the 22nd or 23rd, we have to see. But I do think there's possibilities of it breaking up and down and eventually popping off. But I do think that this is a support level, and if this doesn't hold this uptrend, we'll be able to capitalize off a run. And even if we get stopped out at $1.24 now, at least we'll be able to move the stop loss up to capitalize on some profits. But that's kind of where my head's in right now. I do think we look fairly good. I don't believe we're in a bear market just yet. We're seeing too many bullish factors right now flipping the signals. We're having MACDs having bullish crosses. Bitcoin is having a bullish cross. Ethereum is even starting to have a bullish cross on its MACD, which basically means markets are starting to flip back into a bull run. You can even see that on Dash, we're seeing a bullish cross, which means altcoins are starting to get volume that's needed. I do think that Dash is undervalued, and I think we do need to pull back up as we're starting to break through this downtrend and resistance. It should allow us to pull back up to retesting those resistance levels in this ascending fractal here. So all in all, everything to me looks good, and it looks like we're building up enough volume to swing ourselves back upwards. Obviously, I am still waiting to buy in. It's still taking a little bit longer than I thought, but I need to see these confirmations before I make any sort of judgment call. Otherwise, guys, that's pretty much going to wrap up today's video. I know we didn't talk about the S&P 500, but we've been stagnant at this level right here for quite some time now. We've had the bullish cross just start, but for right now, we've been stagnant at about 55 on the relative strength indicator for about 5 days now. And I'm really looking for that movement to the upside, but we'll see what takes so long. Otherwise, that's pretty much going to wrap up today's video. If you are new to the channel, definitely make sure to subscribe. Turn on post notifications, leave a charming thumbs up, as this does help support the YouTube algorithm, and I'll see you in tomorrow's episode. Peace.